7 times they've met in the regular season. 3 wins for Saracens, 3 for Harlequins, 1 draw, and just 1 point separates them. It's 160 to 161 as Saracens cut the tape in round 3 of the Allianz Premier 15s. It's a first touch for Sarah Bonner, and now it's up to Harlequins to exit. Emma Swords, one of the number of former Saracens in the Quins lineup today, gets the box kick clear, and it's Ayla Alejandro who runs that into midfield. Well, Kat Merchant joining us on comms today. This is a really fascinating one, isn't it, Kat? Because it's a great rivalry, but it's a first taste of it for a lot of these players today.
Yeah, because they've got a great history, these two sides, against each other, but there's some inexperience out there, or newcomers new to it, so it's going to be a really interesting matchup. What
an opportunity as well to really
6 out the way first.
Give the coaches something to think about, because a few of the World Cup stars are back in the sides today. The only red rose that will feature is Rosie Galligan, but I suppose the ideal scenario is, I've got the jersey, it's up to the Red Rose to take it off me. They want to give the coaches some selection headaches.
Oh, definitely. And the way that players have been performing in these first 2 rounds, and well, I'm sure we'll see it today as well, they're not just going to come in easily and take their shirts back, because players have stepped up. And that is how you get your first opportunity, either an injury or someone away, and they're showing they can do it.
Well, the first set piece goes awry, and Dobson can pick it up after it was overthrown by May Campbell. Campbell's had an amazing start to the season. Already in League and Cup, she's in double figures for tries. Astonishing return.
Don't hold her in.
That's Mackenzie, out of the back to Langi Chuima. Bit of space here for Izzy Mayhew. She stays in field. She had a fantastic game. It was her 50th appearance in the quarters. Scored the try that secured the bonus point. That's Bryony Cleal running into a few of her old teammates as Mackenzie finds Mew back in the back row, but she's worked so hard in these opening 2 weeks. A tireless carrier.
Let go!
It's good energy from Quins. Gregson getting bumped off. That's Hannah Duffy. Now Mackenzie. Chuima out of the back again. Shifts on. There's Scott. Cleal in the channel. Tackled well by Casey. Tough to miss with that shocker blonde hair. Now Conkle Roberts. Good phase play from Harlequins. This is something they quite simply didn't do against Worcester Warriors in week 1. Couldn't string any phases together as Dobson gets over the gain line, and Quins in the Saris half. Now Mackenzie to Chuima again. Rolls out of the tackle. Cleal offers herself.
Lift. One arm on. I'm not
Doesn't
sure
even think about the tip as Tansy makes the tackle on her. Now Burford in at first receiver. Conkle Roberts. Clapp comes in field to make the tackle. A lot of tackles being made here by Saracens as Mayhew
tackle made.
Decided that there was no crossing with Emily Scott. Quins kind of trapped in midfield here.
No difference.
Happy to go through another phase. That was Bonner. Now Mackenzie does put boot to ball. That bobbles off, and Cleal gives chase and hacks it through. Saracens having to defend their own 22, and a great chase by Mew.
All off feet, no hands.
Great territory for Quins, but Saracens back on the ball.
You've got to be up, Quins.
Speculative hack through, wasn't it, from the front row, but a great chase from Mew.
Yeah, absolutely. Quins were going from side to side, weren't really getting any go forward. Great width, but then actually that chip in behind has now put Saracens in real pressure trying to play out of their 22.
What we have had here is about 2.5 minutes of ball in play. This will be lung-busting stuff in both attack and defence as Vivas. Box is clear, doesn't find touch though. Oh, it's been knocked on now.
Knock on.
Back with Saracens. And Quins turn to defend. Oh, heavy carry. Really good work from Clifford on the loose head side.
There's another knock on there, but we're playing advantage for the first one.
Yeah, the speed of ball that both teams are looking to play with. And I really like the width. They are looking to get their ball wide. The wingers have touched the ball 3-4 times, and how often does that, sometimes they might wait 20 minutes to touch it. So it's actually great to see the intent of getting it wide and the way that this team, Quins, want to play.
Well, that was that chase there from you. Must apologise. It was Duffy who hacked it through, not Cleel. Now, the scrum is going to be interesting today. We've already got some walking wounded. Katie Mew's down, and worryingly for Harlequins, Bella McKenzie's down as well. She's getting more tape applied to that already heavily strapped up left leg.
Yeah, that's not what she'll want on her debut at fly half. She wants to make a mark on this team, really get a stamp on it. So hopefully for her, knee holds out. But if not, they've got Scott, who is a fantastic 10. That option can rotate her around and in.
But there's a couple I want to try and get.
So she joined me on co-commentary for the opening game of the season because she just met her new teammates at Harlequins. She has got a nickname, and it is the Minister of Defence. So I'm waiting to see whether or not she dishes it in midfield, but she's walking a bit gingerly on that left leg at the moment. Bella McKenzie, Katie Mew down as well. Now we're going to have the first scrum of the game, and this is interesting because Kelsey Clifford has done really well early in the season. England age groups prop forward, but she's moved from the tight head to the loose head, and she's going to be scrummaging against Bryony Cleel, one of the most experienced tight head props in this league.
Yeah, so absolutely key that they get this right, because set piece is so crucial in any game, but especially this is a lot of pressure against Bryony Cleel.
Bryony Cleel has had a fascinating start to life as a Harlequin. She came on in the second half against Worcester, scored with pretty much her first touch. She's on a game and a half, 2 tries and 1 yellow card, which is probably a microcosm of her entire career, I'd have thought.
That sums it up probably quite nicely. Yeah.
So we talked about the experience. What about some of these younger players for Saracens? Because success follows them around. It doesn't matter who they put on the pitch. The results speak for themselves. 2 games, 2 wins. But there are players in the back row like Sharifa Kasolo, who was brought in from one of their affiliate clubs, Old Albanians, maybe to give her the opportunity, thinking about appearances in the Cup to bolster the squad for training numbers with the Red Roses away. She's taken to it, and now she's starting in the back row in one of the biggest games in women's rugby. Shows that if you're good enough, you'll get the opportunities.
And it just highlights the strength and depth that they have, utilising those clubs, utilising those players, bringing them in, giving them the opportunity. And not just that, it's not a token. It's, oh, can you do this while the girl's away? No, actually, you've stepped up, you've played well, we're backing you and we keep you there. And so players coming back are going to have to fight. And
bearing in mind, there are players covering her position who've got international experience, World Cup experience. That's a real show of faith from Alex Osterbury to give her the 7 jersey today.
And it's what makes Saracens so successful for such a long time, is they do have that strength and depth. So when you do have the Marley Packers of the world that are either injured or out, you've got younger players coming up and through. And you know, when you initially look at the team sheets, I was looking, I was like, oh, they've got a lot missing, but then they just play like they haven't. Like, they're just a really good squad effort.
That they are. Oh, and when you think that they've got Poppy and Marley to bring back into that back row, the terrifying depth that this Saracens team have got.
Absolutely, and it's the way that they're able to replace players like that and still be winning, and even though they are heavily depleted, and those players coming back in is only going to boost the squad. It's going to have competition for places, and it's just really good for the game.
It's looking like there's going to be an early change here and an early return for Rosie Gallagher herself, an ex-Saracen who's really hit the ground and embraced being a Harlequin. That's a blow for Katie Mew. She's been one of the standout players for Quins in the first 2 weeks, was tireless in the victory against Loughborough Lightning last week. One of the main ball carriers, main tacklers. And gets a kiss from Rosie Gallagher as they exchange. But to see Rosie back in the Premier 15s, firstly it's great for her, but also how exciting to know that the league's going to be full of the Red Roses in the coming weeks.
Oh, you just heard the cheer then in the crowd. Crowd went wild when she went on, and that's what now a lot of people who, you know, watched women's rugby before, but they're now watching it even more because of the World Cup and how they did. You're going to get these stars, and Gallagher is one as well.
So Bonner has moved into the back row, Gallagher straight into the engine room. So plenty of industry in that Quins pack now. But a good scrum from Saracens. Wow! It's gone up in the middle. They're going to be told to use it, and they do. It's a midfield ball here for Saracens in that changed white jersey. That was Gregson off her wing.
Thanks, Cersei.
And then round the corner is Georgia Evans, another player who is fantastic to see back after that long-term injury. It's Grace Moore with the inside ball. Saracens up to halfway, crunching hit on Casolo. That was their opposite number, Emily Robinson, involved there. But the inside line's a good one, Lottie Clapp. Both wingers coming looking for work early here for the visitors. Scott claims that inside the 22. Here's Mackenzie. Now Mayhew. She's on her own here, so needs to be careful.
Supported really well to get that. I thought she was isolated as well. That was prime opportunity for turnover.
Now it's Quinn's turn to exit.
Use it! Don't put her over. Let go.
7 minutes gone on the stadium clock. Still 0-0. McMillan had to stifle her run as Swords boxes that. It's well taken by Alejandro. Twinkle-toed, but runs into Cleel and doesn't get much change out of that.
Don't run into Cleel. There's a message. Although done for a penalty, so she's got her side gone over the shoulder, referee deemed, so got to keep those tackle heights down, so Sarries really get another chance. They had the line out stolen earlier. They're going to want to make sure this one's nice and secure.
I mean, she's won the penalty, but that doesn't make the high tackle hurt any less, does it? That was a big shot from Bryony Cleel. And a good touch found. So May Campbell overthrew her first one. She's got another chance here. What Harlequins do have with Gallagher on is an opportunity to spoil, but if they throw anyone up, it'll be Bonner. No penalty advantage here for Saracens, so May Campbell has a free go at it. And that's another aggressive carry from the hooker. McMillan can't quite free the hands. And we go back for the free kick, in fact.
You had an issue with numbers. There was too many receivers. You had 2 receivers.
So numbers in the line out. Referee said so. Spotted it early, gave the advantage, and Saracens, that's a show of confidence there as well to go for the scrum option. They were so dominant in the last one, so not a surprise they've gone for this. And then they've got a full width of players across the pitch as well as this tight side scrum.
Well, they've got nobody on the blind side here, but Quins have kept Izzy Mayhew.
Well, they have to. For Mayhew can't leave that. It's 15 metres to cover if there was a peel round to the left. But yeah, Lottie Clapp does go looking for work. So she'll be in there offering herself as an inside line like she did just 2 minutes ago, or she'll be looping out the back.
Flo Williams stands at first receiver. Quins, they thought they'd pinched that against the head.
Crowd are not happy with that call. Yeah.
Just maintain the height that side, please. And I need a bit more space this side, please.
Well, Rachel Burford wanted to talk to the referee so much, I thought she was going to pack down at hooker.
I thought she was then. Yeah, save your nose. Come on, get out of there. Do what you do well. Get out of the backs.
I mean, she's got the tape across it. We should get her one of those masks like Son's been wearing in the Football World Cup.
Yeah.
The legend of Zorro Birth.
Yeah. But that's pretty hardcore, isn't it? Break your nose last week, strap it up, get on with it. Out she goes today.
Yeah, well, she was back on in the second half. Well, that's been fed by Vivas. And then Saracens get the shove on. That is how fickle the scrum can be. Grace Moore whipped out, little nudge in behind for Scott to chase. Awkward bounce, and Scott does well in the end. And that's Torley over there with her to secure the ball. So Torley wearing 14, Mayhew wearing 11. But Torley on the left and Mayhew on the right. Cleel spots her back. She thinks she can make some meters through and does exactly that. The referee is really keen to get the tempo going, isn't he?
Yeah, he's feeding in, telling them to use it. Very messy kick there. I'm not sure who thought they had it or which line out it is.
Well, it is Quinn's ball. It's a couple of times, isn't it? Quins have not put a clean kick through. The last time worked out well for them. I suppose this one has too with the possession. Clean ball off the top, swords off the left hand, and Conkle. Good low down tackle by Campbell.
Taken back
Mackenzie. Where's this going to bounce? Big chase coming here. Hard work for Alejandro, who does well, and Scott slightly overruns it. It was a big chase though from Mayhew and Scott, and Alejandro very composed.
Yeah, she did really well there. She had two players chasing her, and it was a really good chase as well on either side.
Scott in there with the counter ruck. Oh! Now that's an interesting one, because Scott counter-rucked and then Gallagher was in behind her.
I think referee signalled a hand in.
Ball's still very much in the ruck there. Please don't use the hands until it's won. We can go for touch.
So no issue with the counter ruck itself, just a hand in on the ball.
Quinn's a little bit too keen. Oh, that ball has just clobbered a supporter, but he's managed to keep hold of his liquid refreshment.
I mean,
so
that's the important part, as long as the pints okay. So this is back to that breakdown, so having a look at the clear out there, absolutely fine, and then ball still deemed in the ruck, so said couldn't pick it up, but did look like that potentially could have been out. So interesting one in there.
That's massive from Emily Scott, clearing out Louise McMillan, by the way, a fullback clearing out a second row.
Yeah, and not just any fullback. I mean, she's not the biggest fullback, is she? But she punches way above her weight.
Interesting start. 13 minutes on our clock. Just a reminder that we're pretty close, but we're not linked in with the referee's watch. So if it is tight and it does get to 80 minutes, don't get too excited. It might be a twist in the tail.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Great crowd here, you know, and fans with both colours as well.
And yeah, really nice to see, but also even just things like having decent coffee, having food stalls, like all of that just adds to it, and it does make a big difference. You can get there early, you can have the atmosphere, and they've done really, really well.
And so many games are feeling like occasions now too, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, in the past couple of weeks, think of the grounds we've been to. We've been to the Stonex and the Stoop and Sandy Park and Kingsholm. Saturdays and Sundays in the Allianz Premier 15s, we love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of travel for us, isn't it, as well? But it's all worth it, it's great.
Well, Harlequins will be over the road at the Big Stoop a couple of days after Christmas, where they'll be playing Bristol Bears in the Allianz Premier 15s, the same day that the men will be playing Bristol Bears in the Premiership.
So, numbers, better.
Massive occasion to look forward to. Quinn's challenge, but it's well taken, and it is McMillan. And now the ball goes to work. It's really good work from Saracens, up to the 10. They've made 6-7 metres. Now 10, and Vivas looks at her options, but the forward's just going to work right now. Cleals round there being a nuisance, then she tucks back in.
Player in the middle is legal.
Now Vivas up the short side.
Anything?
Smart work by Mayhew.
Yeah. Unlucky. You've knocked it on the floor.
And a late call on the knock-on, but the right call. Just took him a while to get there.
Yeah, referee wasn't sure, so asked the touch judge fed it in. It was one of those, I think he saw and was like, I'm not sure, something looks wrong there, is there anything? So used the touch judge really well. And we spoke about some strange kicks, and that one there was one of them. I don't think that's one she's going to want to look back at. I can see what she was trying to do, wanted to put it on her heel, put it through as a bit of a grubber to chase onto, but just didn't connect.
Yeah, sometimes those little outside of the boot kicks really work, don't they? Especially when you've got someone like Lottie Clapp who loves chasing those kicks down and being a nuisance. We've already seen one great kick chase try here. Worcester Warriors scored it against Quins in that exact position, actually. First week of the season. And when you get it right, there's nothing quite as satisfying as a kick chase try, is there?
Oh, it's great, because as soon as the kick goes in, the expectation goes, everyone's excited, it's a foot race. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, they're not getting any scores of one like that.
You've got to go there. No,
still 0-0 though.
No,
and no real opportunities yet.
No, other than the first fly hack through from Duffy. Other than that, we've not really seen either team look too close.
Okay, yeah.
More of a wrestling match at the minute, kind of finding each other out.
The scrum has been Saracens' domain so far. No penalties yet, no infringements yet, but certainly in terms of the general movement, it has been a gentle white wave as opposed to a tsunami, but certainly looked to have had the advantage.
Set. Pull back. Clear ball back. Clear step back, don't do that. Scrum option, please. Do that again, it's a penalty. Don't step back.
So Quins deemed to have stepped back off the scrum, which he can't do.
And that's on the side closest to the referee, so Duffy and Alex Ellis.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Go Saracens. Grace Moore controlling it at the back, then picking and going and bringing Vivas into the game. Flo Williams knocked on by Casey.
That had to go wide. It was on. They had two players outside.
Jade Conkle-Roberts. Such a reliable carrier.
Hold in front, please. Don't move forward. No.
Now Mackenzie kicks that. But wasn't much of a chase. In fact, it's being led by Rosie Dobson.
Thanks.
As Lottie Clapp carries it back. Gets the hands going. There's Casey. Georgia Evans. Again, direct carrier from Saracens. And neither team really yielding in defence in this midfield area.
Hold eight. Oh,
so Williams
flat.
Works it out to the right-hand side. Sydney Gregson out there. Another carry from Evans. Good step off the left foot, gets her over the game line. Now Vivas and Flo Williams. Is there a gap here? A dog-leg defence, and Saracens with an overlap. Into the 22. Here's Wardle. She's got Clapp outside her. She steps inside Scott, and somehow Saracens don't score. Emily Scott, but it's inevitable. And Alex Ellis crosses for the game's first try as soon as they broke up the left side. It was just a case of when it had happened. Great cover from Scott, but eventually Alex Ellis finishes the job and Saracens lead.
Yeah, great try from Saracens there, and what incredible defence as well from Scott to come across. I thought that was a absolute try, guaranteed. But it starts with Flo Robinson, really good run across there. Gets round the outside, has a look, goes to pass, really nice. And then you get a 1-2 across. This is the great chase and cover tackle across, because really it's numbers on there. So I said Flo Robinson, I'm not sure where Flo Williams, I'm not sure where I got that one from. So yeah, and then a really nice finish as well. But what was great is that even though they got caught up, they then know their forwards are so key, and they know what they're doing those 5 metres out.
In your defence, Flo's sister Emily is playing flanker. So
okay, we'll go with that.
You've got one in the bank. I'll get one later, I'm sure. Here is Flo Williams. Drives that one low, a little bit too low. She really drove that, didn't she? Punched it towards the post, but she doesn't have the extras.
But the initial line break, so fantastic. So good speed of ball. Nice pass out the back, and then it's just that little step and go. Manages to get the ball transfer. This is what I really like about this. Into one hand for the handoff, back to two, moving across here. I think she's in two minds of whether she's going for it. For me, Lottie Crap, I think could have took the outside there. I think as a winger, just back yourself, take the outside, but great cover from Scott, and then good recycling of the ball to get across and over the try line with a big carry, big finish.
Quins restart and go deep. Lottie Clapp, another carry infield. And Alex Ellis, the try scorer, the deadlock breaker. Burford was quite high with that tackle on McMillan.
Use it! No! Get back!
And here is Scott under that one. She's got a bit of protection from Swords. And then she steps Clapp and she's brought down in between the 22.
Play on, ball lifted. Ball exposed,
And then Swords gets absolutely melted, and Saracens turn the ball over. Ella Vivas tiptoeing through the midfield. There's the chip over the top. Langi Tuima's on the edge for Quins. And she'll return it with interest, and she'll back herself on the outside, but Gregson's quick.
Looks good. Looks good. Let go, Quins. Let go.
Saracens turn it over.
Counter good there. Lost.
And they're offloading the ball now, looking for those dog legs. The one they found so far resulted in a try. Takes an awkward bounce, and Mackenzie lets it go into touch.
Quins on the edge, yeah.
Yeah, happy to just let that one settle down and take a moment of calm and reset.
How many?
Well, what's been interesting is how well both teams have defended in the midfield, and the reason they've defended well, it hasn't always been the fastest lift, but they've lifted together. The one time Quins didn't and shot up, that's when Saracens were able to exploit.
Picked them off, because if you do go up, if you fly, you have to make the hit. You can't go up and not, because you will get exploited. So as you said, it's about going up together, because it's so hard to break down defences when they do that.
Bonner. As though they were going to bring it down, however. First phase. Here's Robinson. Conklin behind her. Better clear out from Quins this time. Now Mackenzie. Short ball to Chuima, who puts the brakes on but rolls around Flo Williams. Kick in behind. Oh, is that out on the full? Yeah.
Yeah, a bit too much on it, and that is the difference of 5 centimetres of a great kick getting into good territory, or too far and all the way back.
Looking at the clock in the stadium, 16 minutes to go. Bit of a cold winter breeze picking up as well. Rushing through the AR's flag, blowing in the favour of Harlequins as Evans goes up and claims a good ball, and now May Campbell. She can send Grace Moore into action.
Off feet now, off feet! Too long.
Tip on again, looking for hands. This is good work from Saracens. Kelsey Clifford linking up with Sophie Tansley. Ellis with the tip on. Now Flo Williams again. Anna Casey burrowing through.
Advantage offside, 13.
Chuima's offside.
Number 13, you need to get back on side. Interrupted play.
Tiny margins in this game, just the one try separating the teams. Penalty-wise in midfield, though, Harlequins definitely conceding more.
Definitely, and the ref will start to speak to him. He's already said about having warnings. They've given away the free kick as well from the scrum, so just starting to have a word about discipline, because it will cost them, and we've seen what Saracens line out historically is like, and they have a very good driven line out, so you don't want to be giving them the opportunity there.
Well, they're into the 22, and this is where May Campbell starts to get excited. First job, find the jumper. She does. It's Louise McMillan. And now they go to work. We've seen one great midfield drive already. Gallagher's in there, trying to be a pain, but it keeps moving forward for Saracens. And an advantage.
Just as we talk about discipline, and they've given another one away, and in this area, ref will start to think about the pocket.
Number 3, side entry.
So Bryony Cleal in at the side. And all this is going to do is piggyback Saracens another 10-12 metres up the pitch. And they'll do it exactly the same, but this time from 6 metres out.
Yeah, this is really dangerous territory here, because we all know what they could do with their line out.
Well, they've gone to the front without the lift, and Harlequins have read it. Now can they defend it? Got Hannah Casey in there at the back. They've added the numbers. They're making their way towards the line. Quinn's trying to take them towards the corner flag. Who wins the race? It's Saracens. It's score number 2. It's May Campbell. It's 10-0.
May Campbell's had a great game so far, and is the one to get the ball down there, but that's a well-worked try and a smart try as well. A lot of the time we're going to expect from most teams in this situation it's going to go up and they're going to drive it, and we're going to see 1,000 replays of driving ball tries that we'll happily talk through, but they go smart. They spotted where there was opportunities to go, so went to the front, and then they just got it moving. As you said, they threw the backs in there, they threw everybody at it to get it over the line, and May Campbell is the one, so she's nice and low down at the back, and she just spots the line, manages to drop under.
It's just a case of timing, isn't it? Quinn's desperately trying to take it towards the touchline. But then as soon as it gathers momentum, Saracens can bring it back towards the try line, and May Campbell's incredible try-scoring record continues. Tough kick for Williams. Well, that breeze is swirling around, but it really has gone cold.
You can see from the bubble hats in the crowd. Like, we need some on comms as well, I think.
Yeah, it is gloves and scarves weather, but again, for the time of year, perfect playing conditions, really.
Oh, lovely. You know, this could be raining, could even be sleeting in previous years, so actually nice and dry, not too windy, so I think the players will take a little bit cold, actually, over that.
Harlequins 0, Saracens 10. So we look at May Campbell dotting the ball down, and we are back underway. Tansley receiving the kickoff. A decent chase from Quinn's. Just in terms of their exit, they've just been a lot more accurate, Saracens, haven't they?
Yeah, getting out and understand. And again, I think it's that pack, though. They know how to play the pack to get in a position for kicker to then make it easier for them.
Use it.
And here is Ella Vivas to kick that up the tram lines. Scott lets it bounce. Happy enough that Lottie Clapp wasn't going to be any danger on that occasion.
Yeah, initially I wasn't sure about that kick. I thought there might have needed to be a bit more on it, but actually the bounce has done her a solid, and they've moved up the pitch, but having to defend on the halfway line, so I think still would have wanted a little bit more on that.
Watch your timing in the back, okay?
So the clock in the stadium says 10 minutes to go until half-time. Bonner rises up. Swords thinks she's seen some space up the short side, but Kelsey Clifford says, no, you haven't. That's Cleal. She gets up over halfway.
I'm not milking a penalty. Do not try and buy penalties off me. Use the ball.
George Selwood does not take any messing, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Is I don't play for that penalty. No, yeah, basically it's not going to be manipulated by the players. He's very keen on it.
Because if you wait long enough, you'll get a penalty anyway.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Do you understand? If you play the ball into a player, I'm not going to reward you.
She rolled and the ball went with her.
So playing the ball into the player. So often you used to be able to get away with it. You'd pull the ball into them and almost claim that they were holding on. You then get the holding on penalty. But now refs are really hot on it. If they notice that you're doing that on purpose, they won't give the penalty, which is what he was saying there to Bryony Cleal.
Bit of territory for Harlequins. They've not had that for quite some time. Just over half an hour played here at the Stoop. Tries from Alison Campbell. I mean, the Saracens lead by 10 points to 0. That's good ball from Leaney, and now Quins go to work in the maul. That's a weapon that they've been able to use well. Gallagher and Robinson at their weight. Uncle Roberts with the ball at the back. And Swords standing by. Burford thinks about the short ball.
Nowhere near the ball.
Oh, Mackenzie, lovely footwork. She's just got those short steps that get her out of trouble. Conkle Roberts, that's not going to get tipped on, is it? She loves to carry it towards the line. Now Leaney, third game for the Wallaroo. She's got her first try against Loughborough Lightning as well. Big shot from Alex Ellis. Ball across the face, they miss out Duffy. Give it to Gallagher. Now Robinson, she gets her head down, Cleals in behind to secure the ball.
Ball lifted.
May Campbell's just got her wits about her, isn't she?
Really
good
smart
shot.
player, really smart, knows when to go for it and when not to.
Now, not running away, what would you do if you were Quins here?
So I imagine, you know, take 3 because you want to close down the score. But it looks like they're pointing towards line out, so they're really wanting to go for it. But first time in the 22 since the start of the game, I would think potentially take the points. But I'm never against players going for line outs if they think they've got it.
Oh, it certainly adds to the fun, as does that gentleman's outfit. Home or away, men's or women's, he's always supporting the Saracens. But this puts a little bit of the pressure on the home team here because they've turned down 3. Feels like they've got to get 5. That's a good start. Bonner gets it. It's a great dart from Rosie Dobson. And now she takes her place at the back. Can she return fire after May Campbell, the Saracens hooker, got her first try of the day? Still going forward. It's looking good here for Quins. Looking really good here for Quins. Penalty try. Selwood goes under the sticks. And Quins are back in the game.
And a yellow.
Oh, May Campbell. So the last 7 minutes of the first half and the first 3 of the second. Saracens will be down to 14. And that does make things interesting.
Absolutely. Obviously, whenever there's the penalty try as well, the yellow given, and obviously don't have to take the kick either. So 7 points across. So really coming back into this game, and May Campbell has been playing so well as well. They won't want to see that at all. So here she comes in. She tries to tackle, which you can't come in and tackle them all. So you go in to try and stop it, but they would have scored if she hadn't. So penalty try, right decision.
And the referee was in a great spot, no doubt about it. He adds the 7 points for Harlequins with the penalty try, and Gallagher receives the kickoff. Quins 7, Saracens 10. 6 minutes to go till half time. Now Mackenzie, Burford. Over on the left-hand side, there's Torley. An absolute menace in space, Torley. Now Mackenzie takes it to the line, looks for an option, but goes herself, finds the gap. This brilliant from Mackenzie, round the outside. She's going to back herself all the way, gets the fend off, and Bella Mackenzie scores her first try for Harlequins, and that'll take some topping.
That was an amazing individual brilliance try. Really, really great from Mackenzie, and that's why they're wanting to put her into that 10 shirt. They'll be really glad her knee is strapped up, but you know, fantastic try from her, an individual skill. She looked outside her, thought, nah, I'm going myself here, went for the handoff, but great wheels, good gas, and a fantastic finish. So great hands out wide, good pickup. You can see here she's spotted. You want to look for props in the back line. She's gone round the outside, one hand off, shrugs her off, and then this one scanning, actually realises, no, I've got her, goes for the hand off as well, which is difficult to do when a player's coming from behind you, but easier from a side angle, but actually behind to be able to do that shows great strength as well.
That is why we love this league, because in years gone by, English rugby fans would never have got to see players like Bella Mackenzie, and we just get this melting pot of all the best talent from around the world and they produce moments of magic like that.
Moments of magic like that, like different confidence levels coming in, the way they interact, like it's so good for the league. Absolutely getting these players over and in, and they just had moments like that, which we all want to see.
And she misses the conversion, so that great try doesn't get the extra two it deserves. But the game's been turned on its head from 10-0 down to 12-10 ahead. Quins lead, and Saracens still down to 14.
It's given them that boost that they needed. That penalty try really lifted them, knowing they're playing against 14 as well. So they're now turning the screw, and they've got to do this now. They've got to keep sure they're ahead before half-time.
3.5 minutes to go until half-time. Really important for Saracens to respond and try and play some territory. They've gone contestable with the restart. Oh, I think they've got away with one there. McMillan with a great take, but I'm not sure that had gone 10. Our commentary position is right on the 10-metre line, but it is Saracens' ball. Wouldn't it be so typical of this brilliant Saracens team to come up with a score of their own before half-time? Georgia Evans with a great carry. Oh, this game has come alive and we love it. McMillan with the carry. Now Flo Williams looking for space. Lottie Clapp all the way off her left wing to take it in midfield.
I asked you to let go. No clear release.
Now this is an interesting one because Saracens have the penalty. It's kickable. They could go to the corner, but they currently don't have a hooker on the pitch. So this looks like a smart move, just to kill the clock as much as anything. Flo Williams has got her allotted time. That'll take us up pretty much until half-time. The counting clock inside the stadium here is 2 minutes. She's 0 from 2 from the tee so far. 2 challenging conversions. But if she could pop the 3 over here, it would be massive for Saracens to go into the break in the lead.
Just ask the question if you need to.
And to just stem the tide, really. Flo Williams to put Saracens back into the lead. Well, she's completely missed the goal. And now Scott can hack it clear, but she's kicked it infield. This could be trouble for Quins with Saracens already waiting in the backfield. Loose pass from Alejandro. And now Quins can recover in defence. Oh, that's brilliant feet. Brilliant feet from Sydney Gregson. Gets rid of Quins' defenders. Eventually she's brought down, but now Saracens deep in the 22. A minute to go till half-time. Alejandro. Pick and go from Grace Moore. And Saracens knocking on the door. A player down. Alex Ellis, 1 try already. Another big carry from her.
Play the ball.
Vivas sends another big truck into the danger zone. Kelsey Clifford. Oh, but Quins have ripped it. That's brilliant from Conkle Roberts. Leany. 30 seconds and a half to go. Well, it says 30 seconds. Ref just said 3 minutes. Now Quins passing it in their own dead ball zone. Oh, this is kamikaze, but it's entertaining. Langi Chuima throws the dummy. Doesn't want to get isolated. Gregson looking at the turnover. Saracens pouring over. Now, here's Bonner up the flank. She's going to put it on the toe. Oh, this is remarkable rugby. It's lung-busting rugby. And that is a brilliant, brilliant phase of play from the Quins' second row, Sarah Bonner.
Thanks.
You've got a burst up the channel and a beautifully executed kick.
Thanks. 220.
By a second rower. Oh, it's total rugby. 2 great teams, 1 great match.
You okay? Yes.
So a reminder of where we're at. We say 39 minutes. The clock in the stadium that's usually bang on is dead, and the refs just said 3 minutes. So we're all over the place. We're coming up to half-time, and Saracens have got a line out on the 22.
and quick take a scrum. Scrum or line out, ladies? No. It wasn't a straight throw, straight to the first player at the front. Let's take the line out then, please. Not straight.
And that is the danger of not having a hooker on the pitch. You go to the front, you give away possession, and now Quinn's with an opportunity just before half-time. Dobson. Saracens challenge, Caitlin Leaney rises high, and now the maul goes to work. Conkle Roberts at the back, in comes Gallagher, in comes Robinson. Quinns take it to ground. Now Swords, Burford in at first receiver, she steps in, Tansley meets her. Conkle Roberts, another gain line carry. Good hands from Bonner, she gets the fend away. Picks on Flo Williams, who's ripped it. Great hands now. Saracens have got numbers here. Execution massive. The tackle from Mayhew. Even with 80 meters to go, potentially try saving. This is a brilliant game of rugby.
Note on that time, Frank.
Really is.
Tackle. Release, please. Frank, time.
So Vivas to calm things down. Scott waits in backfield. Despite it being time, Vivas keeps it infield. Is there one last attack here for Scott? She tries to weave through, but instead finds Duffy, who takes it to ground. Cleal tips it on. Mackenzie, lovely ball to Burford. Looks inside, then outside, and gets around Hannah Casey. Swords. Massive impact, the two tight heads. Now Mackenzie, another good ball. Duffy moves around the outside. Lottie Clapp makes the tackle. Mackenzie trying to weave through again. Oh, lovely feet from Mackenzie. She's got fabulous balance. And after all that, Quinns decide they've seen enough. What a fascinating half of rugby here at the Stoop. Saracens looked in control. They were 10-0 ahead. Quinns could not get a touch. Then a penalty try. May Campbell sent to the bin. And Bella Mackenzie with an individual try that we will be talking about for the rest of this match and maybe for a good few weeks to come. It is a London derby. It is all on the line and it is in the balance going into the second half. It is Harlequins 12, Saracens 10 here at the Stoop. Don't go anywhere. We will be having all of the reaction at half-time with Lauren and Kat. But it is Harlequins 12, Saracens 10. And let's hear from Lauren right now.
Oh my gosh, Dave, you are not wrong. We're going to be talking about that try probably for years to come. It was pretty impressive, wasn't it, Kat?
Yeah.
Now, I think, honestly, if we had come down 10 minutes ago, we'd have had a very different conversation. Saracens had the ascendancy, they were in control, they were having control at scrum time, they were scoring tries, they had the maul going for them, and then everything changed the last 10 minutes.
Just all of a sudden, and rugby's great like that when the momentum can just turn. And going to that, getting a penalty try really boosted them because they don't even have to take the kick. Also, Saris then lose a player. They're playing against 14, and then they just played with this confidence, which was fantastic. And it was really important for them to carry that into half-time, not let Saris get a sniff, not let them get back in.
I mean, they say momentum is everything, and that's clearly what we've seen. One penalty try, and it just seems to get the cogs turning for that Harlequins side.
Definitely, and the belief that they can do it, and sometimes that's what they need. The first 20 minutes, a little bit, of a scrappy, almost a bit of a fight, and then actually really opened up, and great to see.
Well, let's go back to the start of that first half, and And actually, it was Saracens very much with the ascendancy. And that first try, it was a beautiful backsplay try, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. So it's a good speed of ball. The scanning to go around the back, and then here just put the gas on. Really good. And what I love is the transfer and being able to carry the ball. Nice pass. I thought for sure this was a try. Pass here, score. Lottie decides to step back in, and Scott defends her really well. But then really nice speed and support to get round there. Great
Pretty
try.
handy having Alex Ellis back from international duty to jump straight on the end of that dot down.
Yeah, definitely. And you need to, even if the try is only half a metre, you've got to be there. You've got to work hard to get into that position. But the scanning, the pass, really good, nice width, great work. And then here, I thought that's got to be a try there. And then, they get it straight away afterwards. But look at the work rate across to get there, how far she's had to travel as well. Great finish.
But also that little step in from Lottie Clapp, because ultimately that saved that try scoring opportunity. Someone with less experience might not have foreseen that.
Yeah, because winger wise, I think Lottie's got the gas to go on the outside. I think she had it. I think she could have gone step and go. But if you're not sure, then always step in, keep the ball alive so you get that chance to score. If she thought there was any chance for going into touch, anything like that, then right decision.
Yeah. Now, we went straight on to a second Saracens try, and it was almost scored in completely the opposite way, the way that maybe we're more familiar with seeing.
Definitely, yeah.
Let's take a little look. It was a beautiful line-out maul.
So it was a clever one as well, because you do think generally it's going to go to the back. They went to the front and they went quickly. They had, they're throwing their centres in there. Casey runs in as well. And then May Campbell's just so used to the try line now, and she gets low, she gets across it, so does a really nice, strong finish for her.
Oh, she really does. But actually, Harlequins initially read it. So was it just a case of just being unable to defend the absolute unit that Saracens have?
I think it's that. So they knew what was happening. They did react very quickly, but once it gets going, it's just so difficult to stop. And actually, the fact that Sarries did have backs running in as well to add their weight to it and add their drive, very difficult to stop it.
I mean, that was 10 points up, and Harlequins came up and found some field position. They had an opportunity to go for 3 points, yet they went to the corner. Now, what kind of ambition does that tell you that they have in this team?
Huge, because really their first visit into the 22 from the very first, other than in the first couple of minutes with the chip through. So you'd think they might have gone for points, but actually they wanted more, and it worked out really, really well for them. So it shows a confidence boost that they need to beat a team like Sarries.
Exactly that. So a nice little line out. It went perfectly well, and then we went into this gorgeous drive that we thought probably would be a try in itself, but oh, May Campbell, bless her, she scores tries on one hand and then gets binned the next. Let's take a little look at how it went down.
So good line out, good drive on it as well. Sarries are struggling to obviously stop it. You can see the formation going there for Quins. Their hips are nice and tight together. They get it going, and then May comes in a second, and you can't tackle them all once it's going, so she comes in. I think she thinks it's spun off, but if it's still in there, can't tackle.
And we know that the Harlequins maul holds a lot of weight, not literally, but just in terms of in past games they use it as a potent attacking weapon.
Definitely.
Will we expect to see more of this, because it's clearly worked for them?
Yeah, and they will, and any kind of penalties that go away, and actually interesting, I think that the penalties rack up when you're under pressure. Saracens starting to get a bit of ill discipline, and Quins will punish them for that. They'll look to kick for corners, and they will look to use that driven maul.
Now, if you thought that was going to change momentum, well, we did not account for Arabella McKenzie in that 10 shirt. What an unbelievable solo effort that was, and it felt like it came out of nowhere. Clearly, just like we said, the momentum really building for the Harlequin side.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere, and just that she's looking for it and took her opportunity. So it's really good ball out wide, and that is one thing that Quins have done right from the first minute of kickoff, is work hard to get it wide. The speed of the support play there to stop it getting turned over, and then this just individual effort here. So you always want to run, and if you see a prop in front of you as a back, that's great in the back line, but it's the confidence here as well. She's scanning, winger's too deep, can't get to her, so going to go for the handoff and get the score, but an individual moment of brilliance.
poor Vivas. You never want to be handed off just before the whitewash, do you?
So difficult as well, and a bit of a height difference there as well. The only thing you can kind of do is hope for tap tackle almost at that point. But yeah, scanning across, gets the first one away, and then you can see the scanning, and that's the important part. And then yeah, just too high for Marias, and means she gets fended.
But this is exactly what we can get from Arabella Mackenzie in this 10 shirt. Last time out, we saw her at 15, and yes, she had an impact on the game, but is this what we get when we see her at fly half?
Well, this is exactly what they'll have been wanting to see. They'll have wanted to put her. We know what Scott can do. She is fantastic. She's also brilliant fullback, as shown by that try-saving tackle that she did earlier on in the game, like 10 minutes before. So yeah, having her there, her skill set, her different way of viewing the game, because not many 10s will just back themselves and go. Helena Rowland does very well for Red Roses when she's been there, but it's nice to see 10s back themselves, because it means then as well defences have to be honest. They can't drift, they have to stay, because when you've got your threat of your 10 running a half pitch length score, you've got a defender.
Is it in part a Southern Hemisphere experience? Is this kind of what we might be more used to seeing on that side of the world?
I think it's a sense of freedom of being able to play and actually not necessarily stick to rigid structures, and just being able to have a go, back themselves, and that's fantastic to see.
Right, well, Kat, thank you so much for your thoughts. We have a lot going on pitch side, and a very special guest who's just turned up. But before we bring her in, I'll let you head off to commentary to go enjoy Dave Rogers, and we'll take a little reminder of exactly what the Red Roses got up to this autumn out in New Zealand.
Last big session before final. We know exactly what we've got to do. We've got to attack it, we've got to be clinical, we've got to be composed. Be you, be us, and we'll absolutely smash this. Yeah?
On Abby, just get nice and tight to warm ourselves up for that PvP session. Lots of feeling and more feeling. Scott!
We're in New Zealand. We're at Eden Park, where it's sold out. They've had to get more seats. We're playing the Black Ferns, current world champions. It's what you get up for. It's what motivates you as an international player, is to play in the toughest games, in the toughest environments. The ultimate on Saturday is to win and be crowned world champions. But as I know more than probably anyone, is that doesn't always happen. You know, sport can be cruel. Sport doesn't write the endings of the stories that you want to, and regardless of how much preparation we put in and how hard we play, and we will give everything on Saturday, there is no doubt about that. It doesn't necessarily always end the way you want it to.
Well, I'm delighted to now be pitch side with Ellie Kilden of the Red Roses, and I'm slightly disappointed because I was promised that you'd be bringing your brand new puppy down pitch side with you. Why did you get a puppy?
Well, I'm quite spontaneous anyway, but I've wanted one for a little while. Went home, was around my two that are with my family, and yeah, I was kind of hooked. And you know, as soon as my mum and dad said, "Yeah, you're not getting a puppy," I thought, actually, I can get a puppy now. So yeah, it's been I mean, I've only had him for a couple of days, but he's already been a lot of joy and happiness into the house.
What's his name? What breed is he?
He's a cockaleer. Obviously, got to be careful on how I say that, but yeah, he's 2 months old and he's called Otis. So I went on my baby name list, which pretty much most people will have somewhere on the notes, and pick one from there, and yeah, it suits him, bless him.
So, not that we're just having a total cockaleer loving, but I also have a cockaleer called Gogo, and I can promise you the craziness does subside.
Okay, fine. I'm looking forward to that, because he's quite quiet and timid at the moment, so
oh, bless him. Yeah. But anyway, we're back out, we're on English soil, New Zealand. It was probably a time of highs and lows. Now you've had a bit of time to kind of decompress. How do you view it all?
Yeah, I mean, the tournament itself was amazing. I think it definitely shows where the women's game's going. Every game was a different challenge, whether it's we're playing against Fiji that like to throw the ball about, or we're playing rugby in like weather that I've never ever seen before. To, you know, the battles against France and through to the final, every game brought a new challenge, which bettered us as a team. And like Simon Middleton said, we needed to finish the tournament in a better place that we started, and I absolutely think that we've done that both physically and mentally. It's something that I can see making us grow into the next 3 years, and you know, we're just ready to play again and get back on the field. I'm counting down the days that I can be playing in this shirt and in the England shirt as well. So yeah, it's been, as much as it was a heartbreak and it was gutting, I think there's a lot of positives we can bring from it.
I feel like we saw every facet of the Red Roses side in each of your individual games. You were tested defensively by France. You had that horrific weather against South Africa. Fiji threw it around, maybe took you by surprise a little bit. So yes, you came out better. What do you felt you learned about yourselves?
Well, what I learned about myself was, you know, I've trained my hardest up until we went out there, and even when we were out there, we were challenging each other. And I think what it's done is it's lit a bit more of a fire that was already in my belly, but it's just a little bit brighter now. And I've always wanted it. I've always wanted to be the best, and now I feel like I know definitely what I need to do to make sure that I'm even better than what I was before. As a team, we're even better than what we were, and you know, that we don't feel the way that we felt at that final. It was absolutely gutting. It was there. I was convinced that we won up until I saw the ball get, you know, in the New Zealand girls' hands, but we want to make sure that never happens again, that feeling never happens again, and we're in a good place to move on forward from it.
How important is it for you to actually feel inside that you move forward? I saw girls feeling like they needed to apologise for not winning that game, because that's how much pressure you put on yourself.
I think that's a good thing. I think pressure's a privilege, and I think
that's Simon Middleton.
Yeah, of course. And you know, I think it shows how high we hold ourselves. We know how we train and what we deserve, and we also know that we can always give more. And you know, it almost feels coming back like we have won with the support that we've got, which has been so cool to see. You know, the amount of people that have praised and spoken about us as female athletes, whether that's other athletes, whether that's businessmen, businesswomen. It's been really cool to see the support, and you know, it's the only way is up from here. So even though we have apologised, it's almost because we deserve to come back with the medal that everyone's supporting us about. So yeah.
Well, you've done yourselves and your country very proud. Now, what about that first half? They're about to run out behind us, but wow, what a half of two halves that was for Harlequins.
Absolutely. I mean, at the start it was a bit slow, you know, it was a bit bitty at times, but you know, it's just making me really, really excited to get back on the pitch. We're throwing the ball about. There's a chip and chase from one of the forwards, and I love to see it. Love to see the girls playing with a smile on their face, and what a good turnout as well to come to a game. It's really cool, and I'm just so excited to be back on the field, hopefully sooner rather than later.
We can't wait to see you out there. Right, we better head back up to Dave Rogers and Kat Merchant in commentary for the second half.
Cheers, Lauren. Great to hear from Ellie Kildun as well. Very much looking forward to her and all of the other Red Roses re-entering this brilliant league. What a game we've got on our hands here. Harlequins 12, Saracens 10. George Selwood blows his whistle, and Bella McKenzie gets us underway. This one is so well poised. As I said, before kick-off, across the 7 regular season games, Saracens led by a single point. Now with this 2-point lead, Harlequins lead by a single point. It's a heck of a rivalry. And that yellow card really changing the face of this game. Here is McKenzie again, putting those fast feet to work, but she's met by 2 big tacklers this time. Here's Scott. Short pass to Robinson, flat pass. Some passes flatter than others.
Get out.
So May Campbell back on, Saracens back up to 15.
Use it.
And Kat Merchant, they'll be very pleased to see her back on, not just because they're up to 15, but because of the impact that she makes on the game.
Yeah, she had a great first half, so we definitely want her on for as quickly as possible.
Isla Alejandro gets around the first tackler.
I love how you say that. That is great.
You just got to commit to it, haven't you?
Just, I love it.
Something we've not spoken about yet is the Saracens bench, as Lottie Clapp takes that towards the touchline, because they've gone for a 6-2, which we don't often see in the Premier 15s, and there's no recognised scrum half in that 6-2 either. The back cover is Katie Johnson and Corinne Grant. Corinne covers wing and centre. Katie Johnson is a fledgling outside half. Oh, that's lovely work from Ella Vivas. She chips to the corner, and Scott's across to cover. I tell you what, she'll go 80 minutes, and she will run like that for 80 minutes as well. But should something happen, quite how Saracens answer that conundrum is very interesting.
Yeah, I was just looking across the back line and seeing who they would shuffle if anything did come. But yeah, the 6-2 split's becoming more of a common thing that we see.
Sydney Gregson has put a rogue boot on Lauren Torley there, and I wouldn't mind another look at that. The crowd didn't like it.
I wonder if Touch Judge will feed it in and they'll come back to maybe have a look.
Now, either... Oh, that's been knocked on. But there's an offside penalty.
One hand. Deliberate. Yeah, yeah.
And Hannah Duffy not happy about something. Meanwhile, Bella Mackenzie's down getting more medical attention. Now, Isla Alejandro. I know you like how I say it. She's at 15. I'm casting my mind back, and I wonder whether or not she may have briefly featured at scrum half in her Loughborough Lightning days, but that might be me misremembering. Either way, she's not a recognised scrum half.
Yeah, and it's but I guess people can just step up and you know, if they've done this 6-2 split, then they must have thought about it, and at training they'd have had somebody else coming in at 9, because you do always have a specialist 9 on the bench generally, because it is such a key position.
Where was the mark?
Saracens, of course, when she is released from her contractual obligations, have got Leanne Infante coming into the team. Oh, that is not where they planned on it going, but what an outcome. Oh, if Lauren Torley is stood deep, then that is a missed touch. As it stands, May Campbell is already thinking about try number 2. No penalty.
Stop. Come in.
Let's listen to what the ref says here.
First of all, it's Saracens line up, because it's from their penalty. You can't just be in their face asking what the numbers is. They'll find out once you get to the mark, and then you can't push the opponents as well. Okay. Sort it out. Okay.
Yeah, Lauren Torley, flat-footed.
Push.
She stood where she should have been, or could have been.
Same marks. Saris, off the line, please. Step off the line. Quinn's
what a chance here for Saracens to retake the lead. Couple of minutes into this second half.
Who's 10? Someone start 10 metres back.
Oh, it's been overthrown, and Robinson gathers it at the back. And now she's away. Casey having to make the tackle, and she's over the ball.
Let go!
But then driven off. Gallagher into Casolo. Heavy carry from Gallagher. Uncle Roberts finds Bonner. That's been fired out. Now Langi Chuima steps off the right foot once and twice, and Twins outside their own 22.
I've got it.
Casolo has stayed down.
Back in.
And Mackenzie puts that heavy right boot through it. Taken by Alejandro. She assesses the options and decides the best one is Georgia Evans. Tansley round the corner. Brilliant work. Burford over the ball. Saracens infringe, and Quins can kick clear.
Burford did really well there. It's the speed that she gets over that ball and puts a lot of pressure on, so they end up coming off their feet. Burford wins them the penalty.
And sometimes you've got to be really obvious with your objectives, haven't you? And Burford was this. She looked at the referee, hands up, hands down, make a decision.
That's it as well, showing that you're not part of the tackle. So clearly I'm not part of this, so actually I'm free, I've got my hands up, I can go for this ball. And it's painting the picture in the ref's mind, so there's no doubt that they have it.
Good touch finder from Mackenzie. There was an arm thrown at it by Williams. Sometimes you can miraculously keep one in.
Substitute, please. On the line, thank you very much.
Study a shot there. Casolo's back on her feet. There's going to be a change here for Saracens. Jodie Retty coming on.
They're on the line.
And that is Sharifa Kasolo's London Derby debut done. She's replaced by the experienced Jodie Rettig, Scotland international.
Just went for the sub. Is that all been done, yeah? Let's go.
They've got a lot of hooker back row hybrids, Saracens, haven't they? Retty being one of them, Cat Evans another. Oh, and Dobson has pumped the throw. And it's got to be said
from the 15.
that Hannah Duffy looks livid with everything at the moment. She is absolutely fuming.
Yeah, she was pretty fuming at that one, and she was fuming about 2 minutes earlier as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, she wears her emotions on her face. If I was looking to win money around the poker table, I'd invite her for a game, I think.
Yes, good idea.
First scrum of the second half, 6.5 minutes in. Scoreboard's not changed. Harlequins 12, Saracens 10. 12 unanswered points for the hosts.
Crouch! Bind!
Saracens
Set!
lined up very narrow to the left of the scrum.
And
it's a real battle.
nothing clear. It's just gone round on the spot. It's just gone round on the spot. Nothing clear.
Now Wardle, and then Williams gets charged down, but it bounces to Vivas, who's got her wits about her. Looked forward. Referee. Again, there's just that tiny little delay in the decision where I think, do my eyes deceive me?
I thought that, I was like, that's forward, clearly. But yeah, maybe just make sure, check with touch judge. But yeah, it definitely looked forward from where we are, and yeah, called it.
Just went round.
But Ella Vivas, she's always looking, isn't she? Her and Williams, they always want to try and make something happen.
Both sides have actually been attempting to run out of their 22 and create moments of, because you can, that's when you catch defences off guard, because their back three are generally dropped when they're running from deep, which means there are spaces there and you can capture people resting in there as well.
Crouch! Bind!
Quinn's ball, Mackenzie waits at first receiver, Burford outside her, should I say, and then Scott loitering with intent. Swords finds Mackenzie across the face to Chuima. Now out the back to Scott, looking to release the pace of Torley, but no room around the outside. Alejandro makes a good tackle, and Gregson was sniffing around the turnover. Now Conkle Roberts, she's met by May Campbell, always looking for the tackle. Mackenzie, bouncing ball for Mayhew. Quins losing metres here, but still on the ball through Duffy. Conkle Roberts spots Ella Vivas and goes pretty much straight over the top of it, but then gets turned over.
They're building, playing through the phases, but you just have to make sure you do a bit more on the floor. You do as much as you can to buy time for your support to get there and clear.
It was May Campbell over the ball, wasn't it? She's some player.
Yeah, just strong, and again, just rugby smart. Aside from the yellow card infringement earlier, she's not really had a foot wrong.
We'll give the defence the mark.
Guess how many metres she made carrying against Loughborough Lightning in week 1?
Oh, dazzle me with it, go for it.
130.
Wow,
from
that's
hooker?
Incredible. That's incredible.
Same thing as over there.
Now, interestingly, she's moved into the back row. Jodie Retty was in at hooker, and she's pumped the throw just as Rosie Dobson did.
Something's either going wrong with communications or just not understanding what the call is, because that's not a common look at the territory here. So very even, as we said, kind of it was, the momentum swung and had it, but great start and possession as well. So this really, as we said, it was a close game. And it is. It's going to
be one moment or a couple of moments, a couple of game changers, like Bella Mackenzie's line burst, or that one opportunity that Saracens took in the first half where they spotted the dog leg and took advantage. The efficiency is going to be massive. Oh, and now Harlequins infringe at the line-out, taking the ball with the outside hand. When was the last time you saw 2 free kicks? And no surprise that Saracens have decided enough of that nonsense, let's have a scrum.
Oh, yeah, not what we want to see. They're both sides as well that are well known for their strong set piece and line-out being part of that. So both teams very disappointed, I think, to give away cheap free kicks.
So change for Saracens. The South African Kata Jacobs has come on in the second row.
Bind!
And Freya Orkin is going to replace Emma Swords at scrum half for Harlequins. So Vivas, Gregson's offering herself
Advantage
on the blind side. Penalty advantage for Saracens to play with. So Flo Williams kicks that down the middle. Wardle gives chase. Scott reads it well. And we'll go back for the penalty.
Good chase from Wardle there as well, flying through. You have to say there's been some opportunist kicking in this game where they put it through and just rely on a good chase, but it has worked for both sides to actually get in behind when the kicks have been accurate.
Now, interestingly, Ella Vivas has told Lauren Torley to step back so they don't go through that situation again. But that's a decent touch finder. And just like they did at this stage in the first half, Saracens dominating field position in the second. Jodie Retty back on the darts, goes to the front, finds Georgia Evans.
Inside the 5, coming in.
And it is Retty at the back.
Once.
Hannah Casey in adding her weight.
Saracens to ground, Saracens down.
So they're a back short. There's just 4 standing out there for Saracens now. Vivas has to dig for it, and Cara Wardle doesn't get much change out of Burford. Campbell, just so direct, she doesn't even look particularly big. She's just quick and strong, really exciting to watch. McMillan with that carry for the Saracens, and then Casey coughs it up, and Quins will have the put in.
It's gone back to that scrappy type of play that we saw for the first 16 to 20 minutes. They again sounding each other out, putting pressure on each other, but they're putting pressure on themselves, I think, as well. They're making unforced errors.
So Langi Tuima coming off and Gio Comerford coming on, and I think with that Comerford will go out onto the wing and Mayhew will move into the centres.
Number 3, please. Number 3. Thank you.
Langi Tuima seemed to take a little bit of a knock earlier, so I wonder if they're just protecting her a little bit with that one, because you'd be expecting her to stay on longer if she was fully fit.
And Alex Ellis, the try scorer, coming off for Saracens. She's going to be replaced by Jodie Turle. Another player known for her scrummaging, but another player who's come through that old Albanians pathway, been given the opportunity, is now permanently with Saracens.
Crouch.
So a change of dynamic for the two teams now. A shuffle in the back line for Quins and a shuffle in the forward pack for Saracens.
Set.
First put in for Freya Orkin. And a better scrum from the home team. Direct carry from Burford. We don't see much of that from her anymore, but she's absolutely sensational at it. So Orkin shape into box kick. She's another one who they're very keen on. When there wasn't an opportunity for her at 9, they played her at 15 because they just wanted her on the pitch. And that was a catch for the cameras, wasn't it? What a chase from Gallagher, really blocking that passing channel, but Lottie Clapp reads it well, and then there's the hint of a gap for Georgia Evans.
Not held.
First touch for Jacobs, and what a tackle from Robinson. Big collision. Jacobs rides it well. Clifford out the back, and Casey onto Gregson.
Yeah, I've got it in the middle of the pitch.
It was Retty. Another Saracen has stayed down, so if this ball goes another phase in the middle of the pitch.
Good steal, play on.
Oh, what a steal! Sarah Bonner has come up with the ball.
Let go now, off feet.
Burford assesses the options, decides that infield is the best one. Couple of good carries then from Rachel Burford, taking Quins into the Saracens half.
No roll extra.
Mackenzie wants it.
Into the 50.
Just sends it towards the 22.
Sorry.
Oh, monster shot! That's Caitlin Leaney, isn't it? Now Scott takes that on the full. She'll return it with interest. Big clear out. Rosie Gallagher. Now Dobson into Grace Moore. Everything seems to have gone up maybe 5–10% in the last couple of minutes or so. Here's Mayhew. Saracens looking to use the touchline. Who never misses a tackle.
It's touch.
Yeah, I once, I remember coach saying, oh, you know, we want to get him out wide as the best defender, and I thought he was talking about me. No, touchline. But this shot here, look, just the absolute strength, hits her low, absolutely textbook with it as well, because then gets the leg drive going as well. So, yeah, lovely hit. Love seeing those that lined up, picked up, carried, put her down as well properly, didn't tip. Really great work there.
No scores yet in the second half, but plenty to talk about. Saracens have been into the Quins 22 a couple of times.
Water break, yes.
They're taking a water break here, and they're walking wounded a little bit. I think Georgia Evans is the one who's going to limp off. Tara Schultze is going to replace her. So the Irish international replacing the Welsh one.
Bit cold.
No, we don't like to see that. Never like to see a player injured, particularly Georgia Evans. It wasn't a leg, it was an arm that kept her out, but her rehab story, an unbelievable one, and great to see her back wearing the Saracens jersey.
Yeah, hopefully that's just a bit more of a knock and a niggle, and she'll get off, get it rehabbed and back.
Line outs here, yep.
Yeah, she does look in some discomfort.
Fringes.
She will be pleased to get that warm coat on,
Obvious.
and hoping that her teammates can get themselves back into the game. Corinne Grant is coming on for Saracens as well, wearing number 23, and obviously thinks she's still at the Stonex because she's kept the leggings on for this one.
Yeah.
5 and receiver.
So if you don't want to know the score in the other game, Exeter Chiefs versus Worcester Warriors, then put your fingers in your ears now. Exeter Chiefs currently 14-0 to the good. Hannah Casey bullies her way up to halfway. Retting. Quinn's not contesting at that breakdown. Here's Turl, first carry for her, and she is met by Gallagher and then some. Some of these shots in the second half, my goodness. Torley to grab, to find the floor. May Campbell putting her hand up for a carry, of course she is. Oh, but she's met again by Leaney, who's got a taste for these midfield shots.
Yeah, these Quins girls are really stepping up the hits levels.
There's a counter ruck, and some space and an awkward kick for Scott, who's got Mackenzie. Mackenzie looks really composed in the contact zone, doesn't she?
Yeah, just generally composed. Even when she got the ball and made that break, she looked confident the whole way through it.
Comerford. Do you know, that's 2 touches for Gio Comerford now, and twice she's been put out into touch.
Yeah, just, you know, she's not been given much room. However, if you're getting a ball like that, you just have to fight your way back in. Big step off the right foot, drive, get yourself down low, get back into pitch, because... Please. Yeah, as a winger going into touch is your worst nightmare. You don't want to do it. You want to stay in, keep the ball alive.
Come on. Oh, right, sorry.
Saracens ball. Last few minutes, team seem to have been trapped in this midfield area. It's McMillan. More good line-out ball. Casey out of the back. Is there a gap in the middle? Not this time, but it's Clapp again. Great carry, but Burford makes a good tackle.
Clear release, please. Hold in front!
Oh, good feet from Williams. Tackled by her opposite number, the Minister.
Tackle!
Vivas. Oh, that's out on the full. She's got her hands on her head because she knows she's made a mess of that one.
Yeah, she's not impressed with that one, to say the least. Gutted that it's gone straight out. But a few errors like that are going to creep in when games are this tight, because you are trying to make every extra centimetre count.
But she holds herself to a high standard because she's an excellent player.
Yeah, completely. And all of these players now, hold themselves to account and they admit if they've done something wrong, because they just want to improve and get it right next time.
Dobson to Bonner, off the top, and Orkin. Scott and Conkle. Dealt with well though by Saracens. Casey making a good tackle. So all that movement for Quins, but they're back where they started.
Off these. I asked you to let go. 14.
Now this is a situation where, looking around the teams, somebody like Emma Singh comes into play, because she can drain a three-pointer from her.
I was just thinking that exact same thing, because it's around the 10-metre mark and she is someone that can slot them. But looking on these two teams, do they have the players that can go? But that said, they were given an opportunity for 3 points right in front of the post. They didn't take it, so who's to say they would, even if they had that option?
5.
An hour gone.
Timing.
Leaning.
Ball. Coming.
Dobson with the ball at the back. Galligan arrives. Quins looking to maul.
Detached.
And then Dobson breaks away. Really good tackle by Grace Moore. And it goes to ground. Freya Orkin. Some tired bodies out there. Few forwards strolling. Jade Conkle-Roberts is absolutely not one of them. So well conditioned, the firefighter. It's narrow for Quins as they look to send the big trucks into battle. Orkin, now Scott, out to Burford. Big pass out to Torley, steps inside, still going Torley. Sydney Gregson brings her down, 6 metres short for Quins. A lot of width to work with. Dobson still on her feet, tackled by her opposite number, Campbell. This feels like a big moment in the game as Duffy shoved into the tackle. Scott desperate for the ball for Quins, but it's slow, so they keep it tight.
Use it!
So they're going to pick and go again, and it's Cleal. Can she get 3 tries in 3 games in the famous quarters? Robinson, goes head to head with Macmillan, and neither will yield. A lot of Saracens bodies ready to make a big tackle here as Quins go back towards the post. Conkle-Roberts can't get low enough, but can take Quins to within a metre. Now Scott out of the back, shifted on, but it's gone forward. Oh, and now the spotlight's on Selwood, because Corrine Grant in her head's already got 100 metres.
Yeah, she wanted to play the advantage and she wanted to carry there, but how close were Quins then? Just so close to the try line. And then I love what they were trying to do, because there were numbers out there. Burford does incredibly well to get it across. It's not an easy one to take for Torley, and Torley has been playing very well this game, but Burford just so quick out in front, manages to move it across. But yeah, just very difficult. It's that high to low, so it's a horrible one to take for a wing, but can see why Burford did it.
So Bryony Cleal's going to be replaced in the front row by Chloe Edwards.
So we'll just give her as much time to finish it.
So Bryony Cleal's try-scoring run ends. And there's going to be a change in the front row for Saracens. Jodie Turle, having only just come on in the second half, wearing number 17, is going to be replaced by Janina Loyola, the Spanish international.
Okay.
So it's a prop-for-prop substitution. Now this is a massive moment for Harlequins. Tova Vixton coming onto the pitch in the quarters for the final time. She's been a part of every squad that's got to a final, so she's lost 2 finals, she's won 1, 66 appearances. The Swedish captain, she's been an integral part of the success of this team in the Premier 15s era, and she's coming on in a London derby to draw the curtain down on a fantastic career.
And you can hear the respect of the crowd as well, and she comes on just like really cheering, and rightly so, because you have a huge part. 3 finals, incredible.
And her first job is to pack down in the scrum alongside Rosie Dobson, who's a young hooker who she'll have seen come through. One of the many young players who she's helped to nurture with her experience. So 2 new props for Quins now. Still a massive contest in the scrum, isn't it? And Quins getting the shove on. Grace Moore doing really well, but now being driven towards touch, and Corinne Grant as well to help her to keep the ball in.
Tackle!
Jodie Retty.
Yeah.
Into the final quarter of the game. Still no score in the second half. Big shot goes in on Kelsey Clifford, who's going to have to play the rest of the game now, isn't she? Because Turl's gone off and Loyola's come on, so there are no props remaining for Saracens. Oh, 80-minute loose heads. Here's Sawley. Hands it on to Mackenzie. Not sure Bella Mackenzie will thank her too much for that pass, but they've got the advantage.
Yes.
There's a Harlequin down.
I think we've got a neck injury here. Oh, you've just asked me the question. It's 1, 2, 3. You've been late there. You need to come off quicker. No. Yeah, you can do a
We've just heard the referee, George Selwood, say a neck injury. So
we're just going to check the neck here, so we'll take as much time as needed.
Hopefully.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
The correct processes are in place, which we know they will be. And this isn't as serious as it could be.
Oh, sorry, number two.
16 minutes left on the clock, 18 minutes left on the clock in the stadium, 18 minutes left on our clock. The referee's watch is a mystery, but this is a proper derby, isn't it?
Oh, it really is, and we said it was going to be close. We said it was going to be collisions and big hits, and it absolutely has been. But it's very much still up in the air. This could go either way for sure.
Both teams have had an opportunity in the second half that perhaps they'll be disappointed they didn't score with. Yeah,
been very close. That Quins one there, you know, that pass goes to hand, or you know, and it's definitely a try. So they can come away from it knowing that they maybe could have taken it.
And then earlier on, of course, Saracens, they had those couple of penalties inside the 22, the opportunities for driving lineouts that are bread and butter for a team like them.
Yeah, overthrow, and then obviously in the middle of the pitch as well, giving a few lineouts away, so giving away opportunities to attack.
Are you on the big one next week?
I've just had a blank. Yeah, Sarries. Yeah.
Saracens versus Gloucester Hartpury.
Yes, yeah.
What a game.
That one's going to be a big one, isn't it?
So for those of you that might be tuning in for the first time this season, Gloucester Hartpury are one of the teams that everyone's really excited about. They've made some huge signings, of course. They've got those players in the squad, the likes of Mo Hunt and Sarah Beckett, who might feel as though they could have done well at the World Cup, but now really want to prove it in the Gloucester Hartpury colours. Beckett, of course, winning the Premier 15s here with Harlequins. They've won 2 out of 2. They're looking good.
I'll tell you what, last week they looked something special. They just, you know, they had the pack, but they also had the back, so their driven line-out was excellent, got some fantastic tries there, but also the width. Their wingers really were touching the ball as well, which, that is going to be one hell of a game.
Well, I saw them in the first week when they beat Exeter Chiefs away. They backed that up against Bristol Bears. This is the Harlequins' opportunity here. Now, the forwards were doing a good job. Fans always bemoan when they don't give it out to the backs. They did on this occasion, and they didn't score.
Yeah, and it's one of those, because actually she is stood in space, but Saracens' defence has done well. It's come up and it's stopped that pass going away, because otherwise, when you have a player out wide stood with no one opposite him, it's almost criminal if you don't try and get it to them. But you're right, they're only a metre out, so maybe a few more forwards plays, but I'm never against people trying to play it wide.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Made a pretty good career out of it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, it's Rosie Dobson, who is back on her feet, which is great news. That'll be her race run. She will be replaced by Davinia Catlin, another player who seems to have been integral to this Harlequins team for so long. But when we hear neck injury, it's always great to see the player walking off of their own volition.
Definitely, really important as well. Neck, head, they take a lot of care and attention for the players, but she looks sore, but also has a little bit of a smile, so very good to see.
So Catlin's first job, find a jumper. Quinn's back inside the 22. The tide has turned for them, but the scoreboard hasn't. Good line-out ball as well, and Conkle Roberts up the blind side. She's brought down by Corrine Grant. And Quinn's back on the ball. Can they get the score here and the conversion that would take them beyond a converted try? Chloe Edwards, great carry from the replacement tight head. And they are in the game here, Quinns. Make no mistake. And rewind 2 weeks ago when they lost to Worcester Warriors, who'd have thought they'd be in this situation here? Inside the 5 they go. There's Conkle Roberts. Shanina Loyola trying to slow things down, as is Louise McMillan, who has been tireless for Saracens today. But Quinn's knocking on the door. Jade Conkle Roberts can't get there.
Advantage.
Another carry. They're over the line. Have they grounded the ball? Oh, they have. Quinns extend the lead, and it's Tova Vixton. Tries have been a rarity. Is this going to be the most important one that she's scored in that quarter jersey? What a moment for her. What a moment for Quinns. They lead 17-10.
Huge moment, and what a time to do it as well, to really turn the screw here now, get that try on the board against Saracens, creep ahead with that lead, but brilliant finish. They weren't moving it out wide from here this time. They tried that, hadn't worked. They are keeping it in tight, they are working together, and yeah, what a moment to score. Fantastic.
Yeah, quite a lot of work to do as well.
Had to wriggle her body, like it's really hard to go to do that without getting hit or someone going underneath, but worked, wriggled her way around, elbowed through, and really nice personally for her on her last game to get a score as well.
So Bella McKenzie, for all the things she's done brilliantly in her brief Quinns career, the place kicking hasn't been the best. But she makes no mistake with that one. The lead is more than a converted try, and it's 19 unanswered points for Quinns. They lead 19-10.
We've spoken about the momentum. They are taking their opportunities, and now they have to just make sure that they stay in this. They've got to stay focused, as they have done, but can't let Saracens are the comeback queens. They can go 20, you know, we've seen them down 22 points and come back and win, and against Quinns as well. So Quinns have been hurt by that before. They'll be focused for sure now.
Well, that's a loose ball, but Bonner picks it up. She's made a huge difference to this team today, Sarah Bonner. They really missed players like her and Rosie Gallagher in that first week against Worcester Warriors.
Doing the dog work, doing those hard carries, the defensive work as well. So really, yeah, big impact.
Never underestimate the impact of the engine room. Not a lot of pressure on that kick chase though from Quinns. And the bouncing ball knocked on. Sydney Gregson unable to capitalise. Sometimes that bouncing ball can cause chaos, and how often do we see wingers and centres flying through gaps that didn't seem to exist?
Well, what generally happens is when a ball bounces, defence almost stops because the ball's in the air or hit the ground. So that's why the bounce pass can sometimes just work out beautifully, especially a nice bounce up into your hands and you're away.
Come on.
So Kelsey Clifford, the only player in the front row who started the match. Saracens now packing down with Retty at hooker and Loyola on the other side after Jodie Turle had to go off injured after being a second half replacement herself. Tell you what, the changes for Quins have really solidified the scrum. Mayhew out of the back to Mackenzie, now Comerford. Is she going to lose the battle with the touchline again? Not this time, she stays in field. Uncle Roberts, great defence from Saracens just to come up and meet her. They know exactly what she's going to do. Scott, Burford, give her that big pass over the top where Bonner's in the channel. Lovely pass over the top. Oh, not that lovely, it's just gone forward. I think that's a good call from the referee. The crowd don't think so, but they wouldn't.
Yeah, I wasn't sure in line with it, but it's like Rachel Burford is absolute quality. Look at that 20 metre pass, and then the footwork from Bonner as well, and to go across. Borderline. I think the movement from her hands were back, but yeah, Rat's in a good position to see it, but yeah, crowd not so happy with it. But yeah, what Burford gives you as a centre, the whip she can play with.
Sarah Bonner is having an absolute nightmare with cramp.
Oh, no.
She was writhing around on the floor, but she's run her legs off, hasn't she?
Yeah, we've seen actually cramp quite a bit coming into these first 3 rounds and seeing players struggling with it, you know, because there's only so much that a pre-season can do, and actually game fitness and the work rate that she's put in today, I'm not surprised she's got cramp.
Approaching the last 10 minutes. Saracens chasing the game as they've done successfully so many times before. That spews out, and Grace Moore has to have her wits about her. Burford adds the extra weight, and Quins win the collision. Good line speed as well, but is there space out there? What a kick-off, and it's knocked on. That was the perfect kick for the winger.
It was really well weighted. It was up in there, easy to take as well. It was one of those, and actually maybe she's thinking, I'm in under the post here, and actually hasn't quite focused on just the simple catch.
She's thinking about the swan dive for the social media.
Yeah, she's in, yeah.
That's really smart thinking from Williams at 10, isn't it? Because Quinn's line speed was brilliant, but there was acres of space.
Yeah, huge amount of space. When you said that, is there space? Yes. Is there a player in that space? Yes, but just couldn't keep hold of the ball, unfortunately for Saracens, because that was a sure try.
Crouch. Find. Set.
So Sale Sharks, again, if you don't want any spoilers, close your ears now. They've won 2 in a row at the start of the season for the first time in the Premier 15s era, as this carry from Burford, that is brilliant. They are currently 15-14 up on Loughborough Lightning, looking to make it 3 wins out of 3. What a great pass from Comerford, and Torley just about keeps it in somehow. Quinn's on the ball, but hemorrhaging field position. Saracens win the penalty, and they're going to kick for touch here. Sale Sharks, eh?
Yeah, that's fantastic, isn't it? They had some good results last year, but they've really come into this season, obviously with intent, and they're an improved side, which is great.
Well, they come to the Stoop next week, and that game will be live streamed too. So if you've really got a taste for it today, then you can join Kat and the team for Saracens versus Gloucester Hartbury, and you can come and join me for Harlequins versus Sale Sharks as well. Premier 15s every weekend, and we love it.
Absolutely. So much coverage as well on all the games. It's fantastic, and people, they're now becoming genuine fans who watch it as well, and it gives them the opportunity, which is great.
Speaking of opportunities, Saracens with a rare venture into the Quins 22. Jodie Retty wearing 16.
There's a detachment, that's a tackle.
There's a massive chance for Saracens now. They've not had many of them. Here's Schultz.
Stripped in the air, forward, play on. It's okay.
Oh, and Quinn stripped the ball, but then knock it on.
Forward by Quinn, so it's a scrum to Saracens.
And now a scrum with options both ways. And with less than 10 minutes to go, if Saracens want to win the game, feels like they've got to score here.
Yeah, they've got to. They're starting to have their opportunities now. So they won the penalty, went for line out. They're now in. This is really try scoring opportunity, isn't it? This kind of area here could do an 8, 9, 15 to the blind side off the scrum. Could go open. Could have a pick as well. But you know, they've really got to do something here.
So Kat Evans has come on for Saracens, and she's going to pack down on the flank. But by my calculations, they've now got 3 hookers on the pitch.
Yes, they do, yeah.
Kat Evans, Jodie Retty and May Campbell. All superb players in their own right. Kat Evans, of course, Welsh international now, made her debut last year against Japan at Cardiff Arms Park. She's come on for more. They kept Corinne Grant on the short side. Quinn's looking to put the squeeze on at the scrum. Squirted out, and Quins win the penalty.
That moment there is so huge, because if there was an opportunity for Saracens, it was now to try and get back into this game and get the win. So really fantastic from the Quins pack there to work together and win the penalty.
Harlequins there and then collapse.
Well, the change in personnel, albeit forced in some to some extent, has really made a massive difference, because in the first half Saracens was so dominant in the set scrum.
Yeah, the changes have done them well, because yeah, that was an important moment.
Always a difficult conversation to have with the score in the balance, because if Saracens score next, it's very much game on. But in the next few minutes, I'm going to need to push you for an Allianz Premier 15's player of the match, Kat. So get your thinking cap on.
I will do.
There's Burford. She's been brilliant today. And they look to bring the big back rowers into carry. Jade Conkle-Roberts has been superb, as has Scott. Lovely pass over the top, and there's Bonner in the channel again. Gio Comerford steps inside.
Onside.
Oh, Bonner's even in at scrum half. She has been. Do you remember the Netherlands World Cup team, Total Football? She's been Total Rugby today, hasn't she, Bonner?
Yeah. No, she's been incredible.
Scott in at outside half now. Mackenzie in at second receiver. Robinson steps inside. Now Walker. Quins where they want to be, both in terms of the scoreboard and in terms of the field position. One more try, and it's a bonus point. Catlin loves a carry herself. Kat Evans tackles her low. Scott just clapping her hands. She's desperate to get her hands on the ball. She wants quick ball. Oh, big shot, and that's Kelsey Clifford. Speaking of players who've really emptied the tank today, Saracens' loose head has been wonderful. Mackenzie. Burford looking for that flat pass again, gets to Robinson. She finds Grant's shoulder. Catlin. Here's that high from Campbell. No, says the referee.
No. Good work, thank you.
There's the pass over the top. And then it's messy. It's knocked on. And it's with Saracens, who are threatening to break the line. Oh, there'll be some tired bodies out there. Is there a moment of magic to change this game for the team in white? Another kick over the top, looking for Grant this time. And oh, that is casual from Mackenzie. Maybe a little bit too casual.
Very casual. I thought she'd go for that one, because there was a big chase on it as well, but obviously had the confidence that it was going to bounce out, and she was happy with it.
Should we talk about player of the match then?
Absolutely, it's that lady on screen there. Sarah Bonner has been incredible this game. She's been everywhere. She's been in out wide. She's been doing passes, link play. She's been putting in big shots, loads of carries. But absolutely, I think outstanding player.
You haven't mentioned the best bit either. That run up the tram line where she punted it 40 metres forward.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But we talked about how difficult Quins found it against Worcester Warriors in the first week, and it's because they didn't have players like her playing the way she's played today. It is so important to build a platform with performances like that from your engine room.
Well, it then allows your players like your Rachel Burfords to put those big, be in the space to be able to put big passes away. So Yeah, it's so integral to the team.
So Sarah Bonner is the player of the match. But there have been some standout performances from both teams all around the park. It's the last couple of minutes.
Line out.
But now a chance for Saracens. So just a reminder, our clock says 76 coming up to 77. The clock in the stadium is counting down from 140, but it's becoming more and more apparent that neither are linked in with the referee.
Let's go.
So he said 3 minutes.
So our clock's not far off then.
Not a million miles.
Yeah.
Crouch. Bind.
Again, no one on the blind side here for Saracens.
Set.
Karine Grant, the right winger, she stood inside Flo Williams, who's at first receiver. Quins making a real mess of the Saracens scrum, but they managed to come away with it through Ella Vivas, who's put in a lung-busting 77 minutes herself. Tipped on by Retty. Quinn set the defensive wall again. Saracens with brave carries. Louise McMillan, had the score been the other way around, she might have been in contention for player of the match herself. Now, Lottie Clapp. That line you can see is the 22. Vivas, May Campbell. Williams onto Retty, the other hooker. That was Bonner thinking about sniffing around the turnover, but deciding against it. Kelsey Clifford. Quick ball, looking to win the race around the corner. It's tipped on, and Gregson close to the touchline. Quinn's called off it. Torley has to release. Campbell.
Roll away. Good work.
Wins another collision, but Galligan slows it down. Clock in the stadium says 0. Lovely line by Casey. Oh, Quinn's holding on. Got a little bit of scoreboard freedom though, but that'll all change if Isla Alejandro can tiptoe through. Gregson. Pass out to Clapp on the left-hand side. Clapp gets the offload away. Brilliant from Lottie Clapp. Saracens into the 22. Kat Evans. Kelsey Clifford. Robinson with the tackle. Tova Vixton over the ball. Called off it though by the referee. This lung-busting phase play. May Campbell over the gain line into the 22. Flo Williams out of the back. Is there half a gap? Not this time. Torley. Bonner dives on it. Saracens win the penalty. Oh no, it's gone Quinn's way. And that should be it. What a defensive effort there from the Harlequins.
Huge defensive effort, and there's been 2 moments where Sarries have been really close to getting a score, and both times Quins have been able to come away with the penalty, so they have defended their hearts out in order to get that and really nullify the Sarries' chances of getting back into this game.
Well, you talk about the Harlequins' way. They could have tapped the ball and killed the clock. Instead, they're going to go for one more effort to try and secure the bonus point.
Yeah, love that. Love the confidence as well. And they know that Saracens won't, you know, there's 9 points there, so there's not too much risk.
Leaning. Gathers the ball, and Saracens win the penalty. Oh, this game.
Yes, this line-outs have not been the highlight of this game, have they? There's been real issues for both sides.
Clearly stepped in front of the ball carrier.
So now for Saracens, who've done it again. Oh my goodness me, that has grazed the corner flag. It's gone over Lauren Torley and it's bounced into touch. Astonishing. Bearing in mind, Harlequins have defended Saracens. They've not scored for 60 minutes.
Yeah, massive effort from Harlequins, and just to keep the Saracens side out.
But if they get the try here, it's the losing bonus point. They will not leave empty-handed, and they go for the driving maul.
No!
Jodie Retty there at the back. Emily Robinson watching the open side. Who's watching the blind side? Retty looking for the losing bonus point.
Looks like Sarri to ground.
Taken to ground by Saracens. Vivas with their hands on the ball. Williams. That's been deflected. Where's it going to go? Back in Quinn's hands. Free kick, Quins. Surely now the ball goes dead.
I feel from here, even all the confidence in the world, they're going to tap and go for full time and get it out.
Bella McKenzie brings an end to proceedings. It's back-to-back victories for Harlequins. The disappointment of week 1 has been overcome by the elation of week 3. A great win